Lewis Hamilton's contract extension at Mercedes, where he extended his contract by just 1 year, has led to more questions than answers. A conclusion that can be drawn here is that the marriage between the driver and the team is on a slippery slope right now. From Hamilton's perspective, a single year extension could mean that Hamilton is either not sure about Mercedes' prospects beyond 2021 or he's looking to win his 8th world title this year and then walk off into the sunset. On the flip side, Mercedes, even though would love to be associated with Hamilton, do not want to entertain his demands of a veto clause or a stake in the team's profits, especially since Hamilton, at 36 years old, is not going to be a long term prospect for the team. Mercedes might be looking at options beyond Lewis Hamilton in 2022, with both Hamilton and Bottas's contracts set to expire at the end of the season. Either way, it looks highly likely that the Mercedes Lewis Hamilton partnership might be coming to an end, which would mean that Mercedes would be looking at options to fill what is arguably the most coveted seat on the grid right now. Lewis Hamilton's contract expires at the end of the 2021 season. Coincidentally, Valtteri Bottas also signed on a 1 year extension in 2020. That means his contract too would expire at the end of the 2021 season. One of the reasons why Valtteri Bottas was part of the Mercedes scheme of things was because of his ability to complement Hamilton. He would not beat Hamilton most of the times, but would be there to pick up the pieces when Hamilton had an off day. This meant that the team harmony was always spot on and there was no intra team friction, which actually was the case when Nico Rosberg was part of the team. Now, George Russell is the prime candidate to replace Hamilton if Hamilton were to leave the team at the end of the 2021 season. Will Bottas be able to play the same role for Russell? More importantly, George Russell has still not proven himself to such an extent that he should be considered in the same breath as a Lewis Hamilton or a Max Verstappen or a Charles Leclerc. He has to prove himself in a competitive car and produce consistent results. And what if George Russell is not able to do that? In his first season in a competitive car, what if Russell is not able to match the levels of performance needed to win the title? In that case, Mercedes cannot fall back on Valtteri Bottas to win the title because he has just not shown the kind of pedigree needed to hold off the likes of Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and Daniel Ricciardo. What this means is, unless somehow Bottas is able to pull off an upset and beat Lewis Hamilton in 2021, Mercedes would be looking at options to replace the Finn for the 2022 season. If we talk about the best drivers on the grid, then Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc would have to be ranked right at the top. If Mercedes is looking at life beyond Lewis Hamilton, then the driver you would want to be sitting in that Mercedes has to be either Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc. These two have set themselves apart in the last few years with the level of performance and consistency. Both of them are hungry for titles, and if you have to pick the rightful heir to Hamilton's throne, it has to be either of these two. Now, talking about the two drivers, it would be foolish of them to not consider a Mercedes drive if it were to be offered. Max Verstappen, on his part, was arguably one of the top two, if not the top driver in Formula One last year. The only thing that stopped him from getting the title or even contesting for it was the car underneath him. The 2020 season was another season where Red Bull talked a big game at the start of the season, only to realize that they had been trumped once again by the Mercedes. Red Bull are yet again targeting a championship campaign in 2021. If they falter yet again at the start of the season, then Verstappen's patience might just run out. Either ways, Mercedes has proven to be a better prospect in the last few years, and Max would be looking at the exit clause to get out of his contract at Red Bull and make a move to Mercedes. Now, the case for Charles Leclerc is slightly different. He loves being part of Ferrari and considers it his goal to bring the team back to its glory days. At the same time, though, he needs to be wary of the fact that Ferrari in recent times has been the grave of multiple champions in Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel, who had the same ambition as he did. Both the drivers received so much support and love from the team until they received their unceremonious exits. Ferrari hasn't looked like a team that could win championships for a while now. And if I was his manager, I would be already talking to Toto Wolff about a potential drive in the future. If Mercedes are looking at life beyond Lewis Hamilton, then they could be looking at a proven talent to partner George Russell at Mercedes. And if they are, then Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen are prime candidates for that seat. Will we be looking at either Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc in a Mercedes in 2022? It's likely. It's very, very likely. Now, these were my views. What do you guys think? What is the possibility of Charles Leclerc or a Max Verstappen ending up at Mercedes in 2022? Do let me know in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.